This segment is brought to you by A.J. Doman Chevrolet. We say yes when others say no.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us, however you may be joining us. We appreciate it very, very much. Glad to have back to the show Mr. Mark Talbert. Mark, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we appreciate it. Mark, Director of Child Welfare and Attendance for Terrebonne School District. And man, we got some recent changes that I think are going to be awfully huge for our area, but it's a new state law, right? Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what's happened with these new two laws.
Sure. Well, so last year, Keith, the legislation came out about cell phones and trying to, I'm not going to say restrict, but change the use of them by students.
Right.
And so one of the things in the law last year, it identified or used the term instructional day.
Okay.
But it never really defined what the instructional day was.
Okay.
So it kind of left it up to the individual districts to determine what do they consider an instructional day.
Okay.
So in Terrebonne Parish, what we ended up doing is looking at it from the standpoint that if a student's sitting in class with a teacher and that type of thing, we consider that instructional time. Mm-hmm. Whereas if they were in transition or if they were at lunch, that we didn't consider that part of the instructional day. But since then, Bessie came out with a more significant definition, if you want to call it that.
Right.
Then
clarify.
There you go. I couldn't think of the term. Mm-hmm. But to clarify it, they are considering the instructional day from the time the student gets on the bus to the final dismissal bell. Mm. And so it's prohibiting the use or the wear of like a smartwatch, anything that can transmit social media or posting or things like that, and as well as possession of the cell phone. So the language that we're using is we would like to encourage families not to send their kids to school with them.
Right.
But in today's day and age, good luck with that, right?
Right.
But it's a more along the line too that, but if the student is in possession, especially in our kids who are older, who may have after school activities, and then parents depend on that to say set up a ride home, things like that. We understand that.
Right.
And that we're going to try to work our best we can with our families and things like that to make them understand that they can't have them out in plain view. They need to be stowed away in a book bag or purse, just where it's not seen. And then they can turn it on or use it after hours.
Right. But if they have it for whatever reason, and there's some specific reason, it's got to be turned off.
Yes, correct.
It can't be on. Smartwatch can't be on.
Correct.
Those things need to be off, or not transmitting data, if
correct.
you will.
Yes,
right?
sir.
If it's just a watch, okay.
Yes, sir.
But it can't be transmitting data.
That's right.
And so, again, the words good luck with that. I mean, I think that we all, Bubba and your whole team are going to really, I think, struggle because we've come to a day and age where we have access 24/7 to media and to data.
Correct.
And I think we're going to have to really take our time in how this is enforced.
Yes.
And make sure that parents know this is what's happening. This is what today is about as well.
Yes. And if I could elaborate on that.
Please.
One of the things that we're doing is doing segments like we're doing right now, but also we are planning to send out information through our J Campus call system with the help of our data team, as well as Mr. Leonard Falls, our public relations person as well, to try to get the information out there to families to make sure they're well aware of what, and to make sure that in communication of the expectation and things like that. And the whole goal is not to see kids being suspended for this, but at the same time, we definitely need to get it out there because we are required by the regulations of Bessie and 741.
Sure. Now, there's a second one, right, that goes through with this, and it's about safety as well. But we want to make sure that there are nothing brought onto campus that's not supposed to be. Let's talk about how this other new law is going to make that difference as well.
A clear bag, I'm assuming, is that what you mean? Yeah, so that was a more of a direction of the system. It's not necessarily a law, but it is something that as a system we felt it may be steps that we need to get consistent with other districts.
Okay.
And while other districts may have struggled with the implementation of it and ran into some roadblocks and have chosen to not continue that practice, we felt that it was time for us to give it a shot and see if it's something that we can work with to try to make our campuses, just as you pointed out, as safe as we can. Last year, over the last couple of years, actually, we've implemented the use of metal detectors more in a common factor. And one thing that we've noticed that time is an issue, that we're trying to eliminate the delays in classes are affecting instructional time. Our schools and Mr. Butler, who from our office, who also spearheads that process, they really done well by tightening up the times structures and the interference with instructional time, but taking it a step further, feeling like if we go to the clear bag process, that it'll give us an opportunity to hopefully speed that up even further.
Right.
Now, something to point out that it doesn't affect, there's size limits on lunch boxes as well as purses, personal item, personal bag, and that those things have been posted and they are on our website for families to hopefully, as they do their get back to school type shopping,
Right.
they can use that to guide them.
Right. But the backpacks have to be either clear or mesh.
Correct.
And
Yes, sir.
they can be seen or seen through and seen what the
Yes.
items are there.
And they can be tinted. Some districts have eliminated tint, but we felt like if it's something that we can see through, then it's whether it's a gray tint or something like that. Now, if it's so dark to where we can't see through it, then that's a different story.
Right.
But, and one other common question that's come up recently is about can they be embroidered to try to identify the bag from others? And one thing that we've told them that if they do it on the strap, because most of them, the straps are not clear.
Correct.
Which is fine, that they can potentially personalize it by doing some type of embroidery with the name, initials, that kind of thing on the strap.
Okay.
So that's something I think we can work with.
Wow. And so two big things, no cell phones during instructional time, which for Terrebonne Parish at least is from time you get on the school bus to the time you're dismissed, final
Correct.
dismissal.
Yes.
And bags must be clear or see-through, tinted some as an option. Well, Mark, this is really interesting. We look forward to having you back to see how it's going
Yep.
over the course of the year, and we'll talk about that a little bit more.
Appreciate
All
that.
right?
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming on. We appreciate that. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. A whole lot more Bayou time when we continue.
This segment was brought to you by A.J. Doman Chevrolet. We say yes when others say no.